Hey guys, Steve Bennellick here from BrisbaneGuitarTuition.com.au and welcome to another weekly tip. Last week we spoke about rearranging your fingers in the E and A bar chord so you know what the major and minor shapes are. This week I'd like to talk about a little process I follow and that I teach my students. It's a bit strange, but try and bear with me. Basically I call it the cloud of information. So this is your cloud. Now what happens at the start, we don't have that much information in it. So what happens over time, we start adding headlines to it. So here's an example. We might add how to play single string melodies. Another headline might be open chords. Next headline might be bar chords. Next headline might be soloing. Over here you might have singer-songwriter ideas. And then in here you might have dynamics. You might even have one for gear that you use. So then you've got all these headlines. So now as you go through and start learning things, we chuck them into those headlines. Okay? So let me give you some examples of that. In the single string melodies, it might be keeping your fingers close to the strings. Little tips and techniques that you may have learned about keeping your finger in the center of the fret, so on and so forth. In the open chords, it might be a list of the chords you've already learned, where to strum them from, what fingers to use, how to change between them. In the bar chords, it might be, if you looked at one of my earlier tips about muting the strings and stuff like that, what the notes of the fretboard are. Down in singer-songwriter might be a couple of favourite bands that you aspire to learn from, or to try and get your music to sound similar to theirs but with your own feel. Or it could be maybe how to create a song order or something like that. And then lastly, over in dynamics, it might be how to make a song rise and fall, how to make a song flow nicely from start to finish, how to change tempos, how to create interest within the song all the way through. So you get the idea. So now what we've got to do is start putting imaginary lines between the two so that we can link them together and use them while we're improvising, playing songs we have already learned or learning, and when we're creating songs. So you might know, for example, that keeping my fingers close together over the string goes really well with the open chords, which goes really well with the song that I'm trying to learn, which goes really well with maybe these dynamics here, and then this effect suits it lovely. And so you start getting all these little sort of lines between them all, but what it allows you to do is go on the spot while you're playing, or really while you're in that creative zone. So have a think about this tip, and I hope it helps, guys. Stay tuned for next week's tip, and take care.